There was once a righteous woman named Maryam. She was born into a noble and pious family, known for their devotion to Allah. Her mother, while pregnant, made a sincere prayer, asking Allah to accept the child in her womb for his service. She expected a boy, but when she gave birth to a girl, she named her Maryam and prayed for her protection and purity. Allah accepted this prayer and raised Maryam under his special care. Maryam was placed in the house of worship to be raised in devotion and worship. She was looked after by her uncle, Prophet Zachariah, who ensured she was kept safe and nourished in her spiritual upbringing. As she grew older, everyone noticed her purity, modesty, and devotion. She would spend her days in worship, fasting, and remembrance of Allah. Her heart was always connected to her Creator, and she stayed away from the distractions of the world. Something miraculous began to happen during her worship. Whenever Zachariah would visit her private prayer space, he would find fresh food and fruits with her, even those not in season. When asked where it came from, she would simply say it was from Allah. This was a sign of her closeness to him and the blessings she received. Maryam became known among her people as a woman of extraordinary character. She was quiet, humble, and deeply connected to Allah. She never married and chose a life of solitude and worship over the company of people. The people respected her deeply, and she lived her life with dignity and purity. One day, while she was in deep worship alone, something unexpected happened. A man appeared before her. Startled and afraid, she prayed for protection, but the man was not ordinary. He was an angel sent by Allah with a message that would change her life forever. He told her that she would give birth to a pure child. Maryam was shocked. She asked how that could be, as she had never been touched by any man. The angel told her that this was the will of Allah, and when He decrees something, it happens. This child would be a sign for all people and a mercy from Allah. With a heart full of faith and trust in Allah, Maryam accepted the command. She soon felt the signs of pregnancy, and as time passed, she left her place of worship and went far away from the people. She was alone in pain and frightened. She sat under a palm tree crying in fear and weakness. In her distress, Allah comforted her. A stream of water appeared at her feet, and ripe dates hung from the tree. She was told to eat and drink and not to grieve. This was her moment of great trial and great honor. In that quiet place, away from the eyes of the world, Maryam gave birth to a baby boy. She held him close, knowing he was not an ordinary child, but a gift from Allah, one who would become a prophet and a sign to the world. Maryam held her newborn baby in her arms, her heart filled with both fear and awe. She knew that this child was a miracle, born without a father, and that her people would not easily accept what had happened. After recovering, she wrapped the baby and returned to her people, quietly walking through the streets with the infant in her arms. As soon as the people saw her, their eyes widened in shock. They had always known Maryam as a pious and pure woman, someone who stayed away from the world and devoted herself entirely to worship. And now here she was, carrying a baby. They were confused and disturbed, and many began accusing her with harsh words. They questioned her purity and spoke cruelly, not understanding the truth of the situation. Maryam remained silent. She did not argue, defend herself, or explain anything. Instead, she simply pointed to her baby. The people were stunned. How could she expect them to speak to an infant? Some of them mocked her, thinking she had lost her mind. But then something incredible happened. The baby began to speak. The child, still in the cradle, spoke with calmness and strength. He said that he was a servant of Allah, that he had been given a book, and that he had been made a prophet. He said that he was blessed wherever he may be, that he was commanded to pray and give charity, and that he was to be dutiful to his mother. His voice was clear, and his words were wise, far beyond what any newborn could ever say. The people stood in silence, shocked and unsure of how to respond. This was no ordinary child. This was a sign, a miracle in front of their own eyes. Slowly, their anger faded, replaced by confusion and fear. They began to understand that something divine had taken place, something far beyond their knowledge. Maryam continued to raise her son away from the noise of the world. She loved him dearly and knew that he was chosen by Allah for a special mission. Isa, A.S., grew up calm and wise, his character pure, his heart soft and devoted to his Creator. Even as a young boy, he showed signs of deep understanding, kindness, and patience. People began to hear whispers about the child who had spoken from the cradle. Some believed, others doubted, but Maryam continued to raise him with care, knowing that his time would come, a time when he would stand before the people once again, not as a baby, but as a prophet sent by Allah with a message of truth. Years passed and Hazrat Isa grew from a quiet child into a noble young man. He was different from the others, not just in how he acted, but in how he carried himself. He was calm, kind, soft-spoken, and thoughtful. He loved to sit alone, think deeply, and worship his Lord. Maryam continued to raise him with great care, always aware that her son had been chosen by Allah for a special purpose. As he reached adulthood, Hazrat Isa was given wisdom, knowledge, and strength from Allah. He knew he had been chosen as a prophet to guide the people of Bani Israel. These were people who had once followed the truth, but had now become divided, proud, and corrupt. Many of them changed the laws of Allah to suit their desires. Their leaders became more interested in power and control than in justice and worship. When Hazrat Isa began his mission, he spoke gently but firmly. He reminded the people to worship only Allah. He told them to return to sincerity, to stop cheating and lying, and to care for the poor and the weak. He confirmed the teachings of the earlier prophets, like Hazrat Musa, and showed that he was not bringing a new religion, but calling them back to the truth they had lost. Allah supported Hazrat Isa with powerful miracles to show that he was not a liar. He healed the blind, cured people with leprosy, and even brought the dead back to life, all by the will of Allah. He would make a bird from clay, breathe into it, and it would become a living bird by Allah's permission. He could tell people what they had hidden in their homes or stored in secret. These were signs, not tricks, and they were meant to help people believe in his message. But instead of accepting him, many people began to hate him. The rich and powerful feared losing control over the people. The priests and rulers grew angry that Hazrat Isa exposed their lies. Some mocked him and said he was a magician. Others plotted in secret to stop him. But there were some who believed, pure-hearted men and women who listened to him with tears in their eyes. These few became his helpers and supporters. They were known as the Hawariyun, his closest followers. Despite the anger and hatred of the leaders, Hazrat Isa continued to teach with patience and love. He never sought wealth or power. He moved from village to village, speaking to those who would listen, healing the sick, comforting the sad, and calling people back to Allah. He lived a simple life, eating little, owning nothing, and sleeping on the ground. He taught people to be humble and to forgive others. But the enemies of Hazrat Isa did not stop. They began to plot something more dangerous. They wanted to end his mission forever. They planned to arrest him, shame him, and kill him. Hazrat Isa knew this, and just as they were preparing to capture him, something happened, something that would change everything. The plot against Hazrat Isa became serious. The leaders who hated him could no longer bear his presence. His words cut through their lies, and his miracles drew people closer to Allah, not to them. They feared losing their power. Secretly, they met together and decided they would arrest Hazrat Isa and hand him over to the Roman rulers. Their plan was to accuse him of rebellion and have him killed. It was a dark plan, born from pride and hatred, but Allah was watching over his prophet. One night, Hazrat Isa gathered his closest followers, the Hawariyun. He spoke to them with calmness and trust in Allah. He told them that he would soon be leaving and that his mission was nearly complete. Some of the disciples felt fear and sadness. They had grown to love him deeply, not only as a prophet, but as a teacher, a guide, and a man of truth. Hazrat Isa reminded them to stay firm in their faith and that Allah would always protect the believers. As the plotters came closer to capturing him, Allah made a great miracle happen. He did not allow them to harm Hazrat Isa. Instead, Allah raised him up, alive, into the heavens. At the same time, someone else among the people was made to look exactly like Hazrat Isa. The enemies came in, thinking they had caught him, and they arrested the wrong man. That man was taken away and later killed, while Hazrat Isa was saved completely, without ever being touched. The people believed they had killed Hazrat Isa, but they were wrong. The truth was hidden from them, and they continued in confusion. Some among them doubted, others believed what they saw, But only the true followers of Hazrat Isa knew that Allah had protected his prophet. Hazrat Isa did not die. He was lifted up by Allah and is still alive, in the heavens, waiting for the time when he will return. After he was taken up, the Hawariyun continued to spread the message he had taught them. They told the people to worship only Allah, to be kind, and to live with truth and humility. But soon people began to change the message. They added things, removed things, and mixed truth with falsehood. Over time, the clear message of Hazrat Isa became hidden under stories and beliefs that were never part of what he taught. Generations passed, and people forgot the real teachings of Hazrat Isa. Many began to believe that he was the Son of God, or that he was part of God, but the truth remained. Hazrat Isa was a prophet, a servant of Allah, and a noble messenger sent to guide the people back to their Lord. The time would come again when he would return to the world not as a new prophet, but as a follower of the final prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him, to complete his mission and bring justice once more. The story of Hazrat Isa did not end when Allah raised him to the heavens. His mission on earth was left incomplete, not because he failed, but because Allah had planned for him to return at the right time. He was protected, honored, and kept alive in a place only Allah fully knows. But the world below continued to change. People forgot the truth. They argued about who Hazrat Isa was. Some said he was the Son of God. Others said he was God himself. Many teachings that he never spoke were added to his name. The clear truth he brought became mixed with false beliefs and confusion. But Allah never forgets his promises. Before the day of judgment, Hazrat Isa will return. His return will not be as a new prophet with a new book. He will not bring a different religion. He will come back as a servant of Allah, as a follower of the final prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and as a sign to the entire world. His return will be one of the greatest and final signs that the end of the world is near. When Hazrat Isa returns, the world will be full of injustice, falsehood, and fear. A great enemy of Allah, known as the Dajjal, the false Messiah, will appear. He will claim to be divine. He will perform strange acts to trick people, and many will follow him. He will spread corruption and evil across the earth. No army will be able to stop him. People will fall into darkness, and the believers will be in deep fear. At that time, Allah will send Hazrat Isa back to earth. He will descend from the sky near a white minaret in the city of Damascus, wearing light-colored clothes, his hands resting on the wings of two angels. His face will be calm, his hair shining with light. When the people see him, their fear will turn into hope. The true believers will gather around him, and they will know that truth has returned. Hazrat Isa will not come with violence. He will come with truth, justice, and peace. He will join the believers and lead them in prayer. He will destroy the false cross, end the lie of divinity, and speak the truth about his life. He will tell the world that he was never the Son of God, nor a part of God, but a prophet and servant of the one Creator. Hazrat Isa will then lead the believers in the final battle against Dajjal. With the permission of Allah, he will defeat him. Dajjal will melt away the moment Hazrat Isa looks at him. With Dajjal gone, peace will begin to return to the earth. People will live in justice, wealth will be shared, and there will be no more war or hatred. Even wild animals will live peacefully with humans. The earth will be filled with barakah and safety like never before. After this, Hazrat Isa will continue to live among the people for many years. He will marry, have a family, and live a life of righteousness. But eventually, like all human beings, his time will come. He will die a natural death and be buried on earth. His soul will return to Allah, just like the souls of all other prophets and believers. The story of Hazrat Isa will be complete only then. From a miraculous birth, to a protected life, to a powerful return, and finally to a peaceful passing. He was never a god, but always a prophet. Not a symbol of worship, but a guide to the one true Lord of all creation. Hazrat Isa's life was filled with tests, miracles, mercy, and strength. From the moment of his miraculous birth until his promised return in the end times, his entire journey is a powerful reminder of Allah's will, mercy, and justice. He was born without a father, yet he spoke from the cradle to defend the honor of his mother. He grew up in a world full of corruption, yet remained pure and humble. He healed the sick and revived the dead by Allah's permission, Yet he never became proud. He never claimed greatness for himself. Instead, he always turned people back to Allah, the one who created him and gave him every power he had. Hazrat Isa walked among people who hated him and wanted to harm him. Yet he answered their cruelty with kindness. He taught forgiveness, not revenge. He cared for the poor, respected the weak, and warned the arrogant. He had no interest in power, money, or fame. His only mission was to bring people back to the worship of their Lord, not to him but to Allah alone. This is what made him special in the eyes of Allah. He stood firm in truth, no matter how difficult the path became. When his enemies plotted to kill him, Hazrat Isa did not fight them with weapons or armies. He trusted in Allah's protection, and in return, Allah raised him up to safety, alive and untouched. But even after he was gone, his name was changed, his message was twisted, and many began to worship him instead of the one he worshipped. The truth was hidden by lies, but Allah never allowed it to be lost forever. Hazrat Isa will return one day. He will speak again, walk again, and pray again on this earth. But his second coming will not be to start something new. He will return to restore what was forgotten. He will follow the final prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and will live as a humble servant of Allah until his natural death. In doing so, the truth of who he was, a man, a prophet, a slave of Allah, will be known by all. The story of Hazrat Isa is not just for history books. It is a reminder for every believer today. It reminds us to be honest, to speak truth even when it is hard, to serve the poor, to be patient in the face of hate, and to stay humble no matter what blessings we are given. His story teaches us that miracles do not make someone divine, and power does not come from the world, but from Allah alone. Hazrat Isa did not live for the world. He lived for the truth. He did not demand followers for his name. He called people to the message. And even now, as we wait for his return, his story remains a light for those who want to walk the path of faith with sincerity and devotion. This is the story of one of the greatest prophets of Allah, born without a father, raised with dignity, protected with honor, and destined to return with justice. His name is Hazrat Isa, and his legacy is one of pure worship, unwavering truth, and mercy for all mankind.
Subscribe and press the bell icon so that you never miss the amazing video.